welcome back to the Digital Pathway, where we dive into all things mindset, growth, and success in the digital age. I'm your host, Digital Nimish, and today, I have one of my incredible students joining us, Rita Kapoor. Rita, welcome.
Thank you, Nimish. I'm so excited to be here. I feel like I finally made it in the digital world.
Well, you definitely have. Today, we are going to tackle a big topic, negativity bias. You know, that nagging little voice that can make things seem worse than they are. So, Rita, what's your experience with negativity bias?
Oh, where do I start? It's like my brain has this built-in Aore mode. Whenever something small goes wrong, it's like, well, there goes my entire day. I know it's just my mind playing tricks, but it can feel so real, you know?
Totally. And you are not alone. Our brains are actually wired to spot negativity. It's part of our survival instinct. Back in the day, our ancestors had to notice threats right away, like a dangerous animal or storm, so this focus on negative things became deeply ingrained.
Wow, so I can blame my ancient ancestors for why I always notice the one thing that goes wrong? I love it. Laughs.
Exactly. But let's be real, while spotting a saber-toothed tiger was handy, today it's less helpful when we are just trying to get through our daily lives. So how do we break free? It's possible, but it takes some conscious rewiring.
Wow, so I can blame my ancient ancestors for why I always notice the one thing that goes wrong? I love it.
Exactly. But let's be real, while spotting a saber-toothed tiger was handy, today it's less helpful when we are just trying to get through our daily lives. So how do we break free? It's possible, but it takes some conscious rewiring. Rita, can you share a recent moment when negativity bias popped up for you? Just one of those classic examples.
Absolutely. Just last week, I was hosting my first ever live webinar. I was so nervous. And after it ended, I saw one slightly critical comment. That single comment became my focus, and suddenly I was spiraling, thinking the whole thing was a disaster.
The classic one negative comment syndrome. It's like our brains are programmed to zoom in on the one weed in a field of flowers. Here's a trick: whenever you notice that negativity creeping in, try to balance it out by actively seeking out the positives in the situation.
Like, deliberately remind myself of the good things that happened too?
Exactly. You hosted a webinar, which is a huge achievement. Focus on the fact that people actually showed up, they engaged, and you made a real impact. If you let one comment overshadow everything, you are cheating yourself out of celebrating your success. Now, here's another aspect of negativity bias that I find interesting. Negativity can actually spread in groups, it's almost contagious. Like when you are around someone who's complaining, and suddenly you are finding things to complain about too.
Oh, definitely. It's like the classic office water cooler situation. One person starts grumbling about work, and before you know it, it's a full-blown negativity fest.
Yes. So here's an analogy for you. Think of negativity as second-hand smoke. Just being around it can affect you. But if you are conscious about it, you can choose not to breathe it in. Distance yourself a little when you notice conversations taking that route, or try to steer it in a positive direction.
That's such a powerful analogy. So it's like choosing not to participate in the negativity smoke cloud.
Exactly. And this approach is so important in digital spaces too. We don't have to engage with every bit of online negativity we encounter.
That's such a powerful analogy. So it's like choosing not to participate in the negativity smoke cloud.
One thing that has helped me, and many others, is mindfulness. Simple mindfulness practices can help train your brain to focus on the positive. Rita, have you tried any mindfulness exercises?
I actually started a gratitude journal recently. Every morning, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, and it really sets a positive tone for my day.
Yes, that's perfect. And research backs this up. Focusing on gratitude can literally rewire your brain over time to notice more positive things. It's like giving yourself a pair of positivity glasses.
I love that. Gratitude as my positivity glasses. It's such a simple practice, but it makes a huge difference.
Exactly. And for everyone listening, a gratitude practice doesn't have to be big. It can be as simple as noting one positive thing before bed or taking a moment to appreciate the little joys of life. Another thing we often forget is that negativity doesn't always have to be the end point. We can actually use it as a constructive force. For instance, if you get a piece of critical feedback, instead of feeling defeated, try to look at it as an opportunity for growth.
Yes, I can totally see that. I could have taken that one negative comment on my webinar as feedback rather than a reflection on my entire performance.
That's the spirit. When we see negativity as a tool rather than a roadblock, it becomes way less daunting. You get to be in control rather than letting the negativity control you.
Such a powerful shift. And honestly, Nimish, every time I hear you say these things, I feel my negativity just melting away.
Alright, so to wrap up, let's recap a few key points for everyone listening. First, remember that negativity bias is natural, but we don't have to let it rule our minds. Notice when it's happening and consciously balance it out by focusing on positives. And secondly, be mindful of negativity in groups. It's contagious but avoidable.
And don't forget about gratitude as our positivity glasses. I think that's going to be my new motto.
Absolutely. Rita, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your experience. I hope this episode has helped you and everyone listening see negativity in a new light.
Thank you, Nimish. It's been amazing, and I'm feeling so much lighter already.
Great to hear.